So our first topic is we didn't have it listed because I honestly don't think it'll take too long. We kind of already have a good post on this conversation and kind of where to steer it. But we talked about like growing up and now seeing things as an adult through like these like a actual lens, like the lens of reality. And it's like this, you can't do this by yourself, or like this is hard to accomplish by yourself alone, um, or without a partner. So that leads us to another conversation that keeps rearing its ugly, unnecessary single head, um, of the conversation of splitting bills or the problem with splitting bills. Going 50-50 with your lady, because it honestly, don't mean to exclude you, communities that date the same sex or however, but it usually pops up generally in hetero relationships with black men and black women.
Yeah,
We're here
because of
again.
those gender roles, because of those gender roles.
Those gosh darn generals that keep fucking everything up. Uh, yeah, Gabrielle Union's talking about splitting things 50-50, really just because of the pressures of having to take care of multiple things. So this is just one thing that we take care of together. The house is, that's the thing that we take care of together. And I'm pretty sure they got their own business ventures that they handle together. But the gist of the conversation was just about, these rich people, Wade, Gabrielle Union, having to support, their own separate empires and people within that, older people, whatever, their family members that they have to take care of. So when they, do their house thing together, it's 50-50. Makes sense to reasonable people. Some people have a problem with it because, whatever. We're chiming in again because Ebony Williams said that she would not split the bill with anybody, and she putting no money in no man hand, and they not giving the man they change back. People, this is hard to do alone. Period. It's hard to do single, and it's definitely hard to do, with somebody in your face telling you that they not giving no man they change back. Like, it's unnecessary conversation. Stop. The only people, I promise you, people in happy and fulfilling relationships aren't having this conversation. Whether it's 50-50 or not, it is what it is, and everybody just goes on about their day. I promise you. Like, nobody's concerned with, hey, you didn't pay your half of the rent this month, or you didn't pay blah 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 blah. Blah. The rent has got to get paid regardless. Um, so bring what you have to bring to the pot, or if that's not your arrangement, then it's not your arrangement. But all this back and forth infighting between black men and black women about stupid shit is like, I don't know. It's extremely annoying that we're still here, and it's like, y'all, it's just bills. Like, they got to get paid either way. Like, it's I don't get it.
You know what I think is the most interesting? So I kind of had this conversation with Al this morning, um, and I think what worked best for us was, I think, because we've been together for a long time, and we kind of grew up in like this shit together, and so I think when you go into it in a situation with somebody and you have like whatever you did previously and then y'all come together and do it, then it doesn't really leave a lot of room for growth, just simply because maybe you're not interested in changing, like, oh, I did this before. I'm not, this is a non-negotiable, which is fair. Like, I understand that you have your selling points and things that like you're just not going without. But at the end of the day, like whatever works for y'all works for y'all. And so I was telling her, we were kind of talking about it, and I was saying like, um, not even like strictly on a financial thing, but like if if you're a woman and you want to be like kept, right? Which is fair, like that's fine. If you want to make it in that way,
Hmm.
that man is going to have like very specific requests, right?
Just
And if he wants those things done, like that is, you would have to do them to hold up your end of the bargain, which to be fair is still 50-50. Like that's still like, all right, he's doing this thing and you're doing this. The only reason why that doesn't work, in my opinion, is because one person is always going to devalue the work of that other one simply because they don't understand what that is, how that is valuable to the whole thing. So like
Bingo.
if you're a woman and you're a stay-at-home parent and like, all right, maybe you don't contribute anything financially, but like this shit sinks without you. Like there's no kids getting to school, your clothes aren't back from dry cleaning, you don't have anything to eat, the refrigerator's not stocked, everything is dirty, it's a mess. But the guy will feel like, well, I'm paying for everything, so that shit don't mean nothing. And so at some point, you know, maybe he gets frustrated and he's like, man, I do most of this shit. And then vice versa. Like you come home and you just kind of kick your shit off and do whatever. And
Right.
she's like, man, all you're doing is contributing cash. Like, bro, that's very
There's so
small part
much
of it.
more.
There's things to do. And both people are right and both people are wrong. Like, but now you can't actually understand it from either person's point of view. Now, when you bust shit down the middle, where it's like, all right, you take out the trash, I put the trash bag in. You empty the dishwasher, I fill the dishwasher up. You pay half of the mortgage, I pay half the mortgage. No one ever feels like there's a part, not for the most part, like that you don't understand someone's plight because everyone's doing the same shit. It's just split. So like, I know Alex hates cleaning like the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, I don't particularly give a fuck about that. But like, I don't like doing like the floors, and she doesn't particularly care about that. So that's like our trade off. You know what I'm saying? So she's never mad at me for not doing the floors, and I'm never upset at her for not doing the bathroom. Like it's just we understand that that's some shit that we don't like doing, and the other person do it. And to me, even if Dwayne Wade is that much more accomplished to her financially, like there's certain things that he is going to fall short at that she's going to carry the load on and vice versa.
Bingo.
And it just only makes sense for them to do it that way. And the last thing I'll say before I pass it back is that in my situation, like I have pretty close friends that have been with their ladies for a long time, like you obviously, and then like I have a friend named Chris, and I have a friend named Richard, and they've been with their fiance or their significant others or wives for quite some time. And I've noticed that my conversations with them on those particular topics typically are consistent with these other people that we find have that we like look up to relationship wise. Like maybe like for example Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Like I'm
Right.
starting to realize like, oh, you know what? Like real sane people, even if they're rich, believe the same things that like yeah, he could pay for everything, but it's like I feel more comfortable carrying my own weight. It's like, yeah, that's what men want, right? Isn't that what we wanted from women? Like, yeah, carry your own weight. We feel like they're not carrying their weight, even though that's not necessarily true. But like, that's what we feel like. That's what they feel like on a whole. Like, y'all ain't doing shit. Y'all just being cute, whatever, whatever. And it's like, oh, this is a person that's gonna pay her way, and then now she's getting killed for it. But they have the model relationship where it's a bunch of people that aren't in relationships talking about not giving people money back. And it's
This
like
is
maybe it's not that you're too accomplished why you can't find someone. It's that you have these stupid ass rules that mean
yeah.
nothing to nobody in real relationships.
You keep bringing these rules into it, and nobody happy in a relationship is worried about it. I probably like it's just not a thing. So yeah, I think you encapsulated it perfectly. These things happen in relationships where we all have our list of things that we enjoy doing, don't enjoy doing, are indifferent about, and we meet each other in the middle on them, and everything is smooth. If you have an arrangement with somebody where you don't do anything and you don't do anything, you don't do any part of one thing, they take care of another part. That resentment and they don't understand what like that's gonna set in. So yeah, the best model or a model that I it worked for my household growing up. My parents been married 37, 38 years now. um I don't know, y'all, it seemed like it worked. Just find somebody that don't mind taking out the trash. You put the trash back in, help out. That's the only, and like that's like you said, I take the trash back out, you put the trash back in. It's that type of thing where it's like one hand washes the other. We're a team. It's not a thing of, well, I just don't touch the trash, or even if you don't touch the trash, fine, but just find something else to do. If you're not finna ever pick up the baby from daycare, find, like, while the wife is out picking up the baby from daycare, or the girl is out picking up the baby from daycare, clean up, cook something. So when they come back, she ain't gotta get the baby. Like, it's just simple mathematics, because these things have to be done. We still gotta eat, regardless of whether she in the house or not. So learn how to cook. Um, you know, my girl is better at putting shit together than me. I'm terrible at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like when it came time to put together the crib, I did it. But I know who's better at it. And so and most of the time I'll be like, hey, can you at least guide me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I understand if you don't actually want to
Together.
screw shit in, but let's just knock this out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just those things you just gotta, y'all work it out for what works for best for your relationship. Comment on other people's relationship and what they got set up is not, it's not beneficial to, you know, your situation, especially if you already are single and looking. Making rules based on other people's relationships and relationships that you've seen, or the relationship you want, it's like, it's just asinine. If you want to be kept, the criteria to be kept. If you don't want your woman paying bills, or you don't want your woman touching nothing, eh, tell you right now, the
Yeah.
woman you finna get.
Yeah.
All these type of people know who they get. It's not a situation where you just
Yeah.
gonna find them. I saw a clip today. My man need to have 3 different jobs to pay what like. You're single. It's not your man needs. Like, this is a fantasy. We're on here talking about your fantasy. This is sci-fi at this point. You know what I'm saying? This is not a real thing. So people, please, once again, don't get roped into these conversations and start building out real and all these random ass rules and shit that nobody follows. Your grandma and your
Wish.
great grandma wasn't working because women's suffrage and they couldn't work,
Yeah.
and even then, they were working just in people's homes cleaning.
I wish that people would stop making relationships so transactional. I think that's like as soon as that dies, like people will actually be happy in their relationships. Because like I can easily see where like you feel like as far as like I'm not getting something back necessarily how
Hmm.
I'm putting it into it, and it's hard to like build a relationship if like you're thinking everything's gonna be one to one. Like sometimes you're probably going to draw the short end of the stick, or sometimes you're going to be the one giving the short end of the stick. So like as far as like the whole
Hello.
relationship is concerned, like if as long as you guys can kind of come to some type of common ground and like build some type of community, like to me, like that to me is like the biggest thing. And like us as and that kind of brings me to something I saw on Twitter. But like as far as community is concerned, like people like you appreciate the thoughts of community, the thought of community, but also like don't want to interact with people and like don't want to interact with your
Mhm.
spouse outside of like something transactional. And so then like things get kind of like they get wonky